welcome to Tadivari, which is the shorter, smaller version of the KVIFF International Festival. Thank you for your time and for letting us into your apartment, if I'm seeing right.
Yeah, you are. It's about 7 a.m. right now. I'm in Texas at the moment, so thank you all for watching the film. It really means a lot that y'all came out and saw it, so thank you.
Tell me please something about like the story, how you developed it, because if I understand it, you put it together with Riz Ahmed, like you worked on the story together?
Yeah, so he saw my first film, or my documentary film called These Birds Walk a few years ago when he was in New York. And he and I wanted to work together in some capacity. He was in New York working on another show called The Night Of. And I had seen his other work, Four Lions at the time. And I thought it would be really great if we could figure out a way to work together. So it took a few years for us to figure that out. But I think the real impulse, I think, that came for us to make this film was this insecurity that we had of becoming irrelevant as brown artists, as artists of color. Like we feared. I had just become a father, and I was like, oh, I think I'm out of my prime. And he was like, yeah, I feel that way all the time about music. And I was like, that's great. I was like, let's go try to mine our insecurities and see how further and further we can go with it. So that was sort of the start of Mogul Mowgli.
So you're like feeling like you're losing your culture? Do I get it right?
Nah, not my culture. I mean, I feel like the more I connect with my culture, there's perhaps a feeling that I'm becoming less and less relevant with the times. You know what I mean? Where it's almost like the market is its own thing, you know, and particularly with filmmaking and stuff, there's an ageism, there's a desire that younger is cooler, and there's a feeling that maybe perhaps we missed the boat, or the train, we got kicked off the train, or like, you know, we're not as cool as we used to be. So I don't think it has necessarily that much to do with culture as it is to do with the forces that be that put in that kind of what we at least believe are choosing who's important or culturally significant at the time.
Okay. Yeah, these lyrics in the movie, there's all like Riz works, like he wrote it all.
Yeah. So him and I would, yes. So him and I, Riz and I would sit together to really figure out where Zed's character is, and I would help clarify certain parts. I think Riz is an incredible lyricist, and we had done a trip to Pakistan together a year and a half ago. And I mean, he's really a writer first. I would say he's like a writer poet first, and I think he became an actor out of a vehicle to kind of help communicate his ideas. That's the way I really see it. And in some ways, I think his acting career blossomed and really came to the forefront in people's minds. But I've always seen him, like, actually getting to know him more and more as really a writer and a poet and a lyricist. So spending time with him in Pakistan and seeing how quickly he's able to come up with lyrics, I knew that I wanted to create a film where there was an arc in the music, and we were going to go through the journey of this artist to really see like where he starts in the beginning and where he ends, and seeing the, you know, sort of the creation of a song. So he literally wrote all the lyrics are his. It's just that if anything, I would be like, let's go take that part out, or let's go try to simplify that. And it was a really collaborative experience.
Yeah, it felt really personal, knowing that Riz is rapper and that he is kind of like describing himself. It was quite strong, even at the moment, like, or especially at the moment when he has to decide, like, if to sacrifice the possibility to have kids or to go through this experimental treatment. That was I was maybe a little bit surprised, like he decided to go for this like the business, for, you know, to continue with the music and to lose the possibility to have the kids, like to cut off his heritage basically.
That's a real challenge that I think we sometimes feel of, and it's great that you picked up on that, because I think, you know, there is this fear that if our career is all we have and we lose that, then who are we? And I think that's why we wanted to end the film with him in the bathroom doing a concert, right? Like it's still a concert, but it's in a bathroom. And in another way, it's like he's learning to now find his own wings in a different capacity. So I think that to us was the real challenge on how are we going to do that? Because I have a huge problem with these narratives of like, you know what, like, oh, a rapper doesn't, you know, it's like in the end he's going to then do this big concert and this, and it's just like, I was like, for me, it was always, I always knew that it was going to end. Like I always knew it was going to begin with like a kind of, you know, smallish, like biggish kind of concert. And then it's going to end with him doing a concert in the bathroom. Like I knew like that was, I think, one of the few things I knew working on the film was that's where it needed to be.
That would be a little bit cheesy to have him on the stage on a big concert, celebrating that he woke up from the.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Forgive me. Sorry about that. Yes.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there is a worry sometimes of like what does pleasing the audience mean, and it's a challenge because even the ending of this film, I don't know if it's going to resonate or not. You know, we've only played at one festival because the world really shut down after Berlin. So this is literally our second time. I think the audience right now is probably the second place to really be watching the film right now. So
yeah, it changed a lot quite. But you know, allow me one specific question, because I was thinking all the movie, I couldn't wrap my head around that. Like, who's the guy with the flowers over his face? Like, is it some kind of just random singer from some random band? Or is it has some meaning in like in Pakistani culture? Like, does it mean something? The specialties.
I mean, it can. I mean, I think what's great is to see how people interpret it themselves. You know what I mean? I feel like for Riz and I, as we were, you know, working on it, Riz was always confused about it in a great way, and I wanted that to be the reality for him because he's also the actor in the film. So I had to keep certain things from him, and I think that mystery is an important one. I think, and I think it's also the kind of if I was to kind of, you know, and I'm not trying to be coy about it but I also want to protect the way people have interpreted themselves, because I know a lot of people find their own way of coming to terms with it. But for me, something that I like about it is that it feels opaque, which means like there's like this kind of separation that we have with him, whether it's the mask that he's wearing or whatever. And I almost feel like that is sort of our tension with our own cultures, where we don't really know how to access it. We don't know how to really interact with it. And anytime we try to come to terms with it, it feels like it's too late or it's already gone. And that was something that I felt, you know, the illness also kind of falls into. So it kind of in a way encapsulates the illness, his insecurities, you know, the sort of cultural baggage or the whole cultural heritage that we have, you know. So I think I like those kind of specific but heavy symbols that, you know, I hope can take on different meanings, but also perhaps help the dramatic tension of the film. Yeah,
you know, the funny thing is like when you talk about the insecurity, that is like why you filmed the movie. Actually, I didn't realize that he is the older generation of rapper in the movie. You know, there's this generational conflict between him and RPG, and I didn't realize it because it felt quite normal. Like he was like how he was recording his own rap on these cassettes, and so it felt like normal. I remember that. Maybe some younger audience will be surprised that somebody was recording their own pieces on the cassettes, especially on some Pakistani music cassettes. That was really for me it was hilarious, because I remember my father's country songs being over recorded by some. I wasn't playing back then, but you know, I had some, I don't know, favorite songs on the radio or something like that. Yeah, that was a funny moment. Maybe I should be insecure too about my life, or I don't know.
No, I would say that what's interesting is I think perhaps with hip hop music. It is quite, it skews very young when you look at rappers. Like, it's always really funny when you look at like rappers when they hit in their 40s and they're on stage. It shows it's different, you know, it's a different vibe. And the funny thing is that I think perhaps you and I are in a similar age group, where my music supervisor was telling Abdullah Al-Wali, who's an incredible music supervisor, was telling me, he was like, look, where you are with music and where young people are, there's a whole other world that you don't know about. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm still young. Then you realize actually we're getting older, and where music is heading, it's quite different, you know. So, and you know, yeah, and I think it's, you know, it was a decision that we made with RPG, and the character, the actor Nabhan Rizwan actually helped develop it. So you know, I worked really closely with him, and he also wrote the lyrics to Pussy Fried Chicken, and you know, it's something that we're yeah. It is what it is, yeah.
Yeah. Why you decided to put the story in like to England, to Great Britain? Like, haven't you thought about like having it in America? Was it because of this Pakistani heritage, which is more connected with Britain than?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think, you know, because I myself am American, right? I grew up in Queens in New York, and Riz grew up in London, in Wembley, and in a very, I think, similar system, very similar class system as me. And, you know, we have very similar heritage. The reason why we decided to keep it in Britain versus New York was it felt very much, I would say, I think the urgency of the British Asian experience is very exciting. And there is a language of resistance. There's a language of the colonial experience is closer, and you take it more head on over there, versus I think the Atlantic Ocean as a body, like as a body of water, the way it separates us from the experience. And I think perhaps the privilege of a lot of the a lot of the Pakistanis and Indians that came to the United States is very different. A lot of us came on like visit visas, you know, we came through like, you know, to do college, versus I think a lot of people that came to Britain, they're more working class. They came on, you know, a different kind of visa, and, you know, and their migration experience was quite different. So I think we wanted to really bring that more to light. And also I would say that the British Asian heritage is about 3 or 4 generations in, and it's a quite exciting one. You know, and it's something that I feel I'm honored to have learned about, and actually I kind of feel a deeper connection to in a way. So I was excited to explore that side of it.
Okay, thank you very much. I have to say I really enjoyed the movie. It was for me it was a good combination of music and the story.
Oh, great, man! Thank you so much for watching it. And I would also like to say to the audience members that are there that I wish I could be there to watch the film with you, but please, like, look me up on Instagram or on Twitter. I'm around, and I would love to continue the conversation, because I think something about a festival is the ability for us to be speaking to one another, and to really kind of have a chance to connect with filmmakers. And that's what I like as a filmmaker, is to connect with audiences. That's why we make movies, is to connect with people. And I want to make sure that that's continuing in some capacity.
Yes. Hopefully next time you have to make another movie, go to KVIFF, meet the people there. They're great.
That would be an honor.
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard it's a great festival, so yeah. I'm honored one day to be there.
Okay. Thank you very much. Take care. And see you next time.
It's very nice to meet you. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.